Alright, peace and greetings, YouTubers. So welcome to the 4th edition of the Your Questions, My Answers series, where I answer questions that you've sent me via comment section, inbox, Twitter, whatever you follow me on, all that great stuff. So the first question is asking, are you a patriotic American? And I feel like this person's trying to be slick because they know what type of videos I post, but that's okay. I'll say this because I want to be careful just in case I decide to run for president in 15 years. I ain't know enough to run in 10. I feel that there are different levels to patriotism, and I think on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe I'm a 4.5. I'm just not a really big, go-lucky, put the flags in the front yard and have the flag hanging from my car window and the flag in the backyard, and, you know, I'm going to cry if the national anthem comes on because I just love my country so much, and I'll be pissed off if the flag drags the ground. I'm not one of those people who don't have a life and are so up to, like, 'cause some people are so patriotic that they're just uptight, and it's like, just, oh my goodness, get a life. And I say that because some people are so patriotic to the point where they become delusional, because I think patriotism has there's an era of propaganda that goes with it. And some people are so patriotic, so America, America, we're the best, we're the best, we're the best at everything, America, 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 that anything that's not America, America, America is terrorism. And like listen, I was following that story with the dude in Oklahoma who went and tried to cut the girl head off that fired, or, you know, he got fired from the job and was pissed off, so he came back and tried to cut the girl head off. And somehow that went from a person who clearly had a mental illness and was frustrated to this person who he just recently converted to Islam. Oh my good, oh, terrorism. And, you know, he might be a part of ISIS, and that beheading, you know, that's a sign. They're here, they're gonna get us. And I'm like, see, this is what happens when you start thinking that your country is so grand and so this and so that everybody wants what we have, this, that, and the third. You become a little delusional. So I feel some type of way about that whole story, because I'm like, dang, you know how many different sects of Islam there is? He might have been Nation of Islam, okay? That was Michael Jackson's security during the molestation trial. He wasn't cutting off nobody's head. Like, are you serious? Like, for every different, like, there's so many incidents where, you know, I don't know, the stock market crashed that day. And, like, I remember that story in Atlanta. The market had crashed sometime, like, for a few days back in Atlanta, and the dude was so pissed off he went home and killed up his whole family. I didn't see nobody saying nothing because he happened to join the freaking Westboro Baptist Church that day. Like, get out of here. Plus, let me tell you, growing up as a military child, you're so exposed and saturated with America, 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 America. Oh my God, you're killing me. Like, this is how bad it was. Well, maybe not bad to some people, but for me, I was like, I'm good, I'm good. Because, you know, both my parents were in the Army, my brother's in the Army, my uncles are in the Army. Like, when I lived in Italy on a military base, our base was so small that the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school were all in the same building. And when the seniors would graduate, the elementary students would sing patriotic songs at the graduation, which I could not stand doing because we didn't have a choice. They were like, you have to sing. And I had no problem singing the songs. It's just like I didn't want to do it. Like, I was good. And there was this guy named Mr. Pellerito, and he was the most uptight, conservative. He made sure his pants had perfect creases in them from the cleaners, and you're over the navel with the belt, and just, he was no fun. Just no fun at all. And he would direct us and make us practice for 3 weeks before the graduation, and he took it so serious. Like, I was like, something's wrong with you. Like, he would get pissed. Like, because when we would practice, he would sing with us, but he would sing so loud that we couldn't hear ourselves. So then when you try to sing louder, you'd have to go stay in for recess and sit on the wall or something because he thought that you were yelling and screaming. And then he didn't like if you didn't enunciate or project the words perfectly. So, you know, he'd be out there, give me your tire, your pork. It's not pork, it's pork. I'm like, dude, man, shut up. Oh, wow. So, that's that. Long question. Let me move on. Anyway, next question. Somebody was asking me, how does the DMV compare to your home of Washington State? What are the pros and cons of living in this area? And what are the pros and cons of living in Washington State? I'm from Washington State, but now I live in the DC metropolitan area. The pros of living on this side, I like that all the cities are a lot closer together. Like, New York is right there, Philly's right there, Atlantic City's right there, Baltimore's right there, Dover's right there. It's like city after city after city, all within a little hour or two drive. Compared to the West Coast, everything's spread out. And really, there's only like 4 major areas on the West Coast anyway. You got the LA metropolitan area, the Bay Area, then you get out of California, you go to Portland metropolitan area, and then you have the Seattle metropolitan area. And that's about it. If you want to claim Alaska, you can kind of claim Anchorage, which is a totally different planet, and then Hawaii is just in a different galaxy. So, I mean, you know, it's just real different. One of the cons, though, man, let me tell you, this city's so freaking expensive to live in. Like, literally, I had to start hooking and stripping just to pay for my gym membership that I don't utilize. So, you know, DC is very expensive. That's the one con I have. And with gentrification and everything, which I am going to be making a video on soon, lots of issues. But you know, I prefer being on this side. I just like the environment. I like the sense of culture that this area has. One thing about the West Coast is that because it's a lot newer than the East Coast, sometimes things are a little just too modernized, and there's not that sense of culture sometimes. But you know, Seattle's a beautiful city. It's, oh my goodness, like if you have asthma and you go to Seattle and just step off the plane and get on the tarmac and just and your asthma's gone because the air is just that clean and the water is like coming straight off the mountain, off the glaciers, not right near it. So like, it's beautiful, but I just don't want to be there. Next question. Somebody was asking about Generation Black, what's going on with it. And here's the update. Generation Black is still ongoing. It's just that we're in like a hiatus as we fix a few things. We want to just do some things with the cast. We're going to fix some things with the production, and we'll probably be launching in the new year. So yeah, that's probably all the episodes for 2014. We ran into a lot of hurdles and speed bumps, and roadblocks. But you know, we're getting through. We'll be all right. Somebody says, still no comedy show. What's going on? I know. I said the same thing because I definitely said I was going to do one like a few videos ago. It's coming. There's just been a lot of things to, you know, just, I don't know. It's coming though. Also, another question is asking, what about other projects you're working on? And what I'll say is, and this kind of goes with the comedy show thing. I recently, I'm still punching myself in the face about it, but then I'm not. I turned down an opportunity to appear on a television show as a cast member because it was just, and it wasn't like on a major, it wasn't like ABC or nothing, it was like one of those random cable channels. But, you know, I just felt that it wasn't something that was going to help me get to where I wanted to be, and it wasn't going to be something where I was being presented in a manner that I'd like to be presented in, so I turned it down, plus the contract was terrible. So, you know, I feel some type of way about it, but hey, other opportunities will come along. I'm also working on an EP. I know I always talk about why I don't want to be in music business and everything, but this is just something for me, just therapeutic. I just, you know, it's only going to be like 5 or 6 songs since it's an EP. I'm producing it, writing it, doing all the musical arrangements and everything, singing on and all that stuff. It'll come out later down the line. I'll let you guys know when it's out, if it ever comes out. Somebody asked me, oh, this is a good one. Ben Carson recently announced that he may be considering a run for president. How do you think he would fare against Hillary Clinton? Listen, I don't even like Ben Carson like that, but I will tell you, first of all, America is definitely going to elect a nice white woman long before they elect another black man. And Ben Carson, his political ideologies and mine are so different. I am not a fan of Ben Carson. I'm a fan of his story. I am a fan of his work ethic, but I don't know what happened to him in the last 5 years, but he's been driving me crazy with all of his statements. So, no, I wouldn't be voting for him, and I think Hillary's going to take it by a long shot. I actually am a fan of Elizabeth Warren, but she doesn't want to run. And I also like Joe Biden, but he's probably not going to run either. So, Hillary, I got you back this time. And that's that. Somebody said, can you please make more funny videos? A lot of your videos are always very political and race-oriented, and sometimes they make me feel uncomfortable. Listen, I make funny videos when I have something funny to say. And right now, the world is just not a funny place. So a lot of times I have to make videos about things that spark my interest or things I feel passionate about. I don't want to be somebody who is passive and, you know, lets a lot of things just take place. Like, I feel like this is my one outlet to kind of express how I feel without having to deal with the nonsense that comes with it. Otherwise, I have to call one of my friends and rant to them for 3-4 hours. So I'd rather just do a 20-minute video. So honestly, if you are still watching my channel after all these years and you're still uncomfortable with the things that I'm saying, it's probably not the things that I'm saying. It's probably your perspective of how you see the world. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm being arrogant. Hey, forgive me. I'm sorry. But you know what? There's some funnier videos coming. And I think I just lost a subscriber. God bless. Somebody asked me, did I see the On the Run tour? What were my thoughts? I saw the tour. Great show. I'm not really a big fan of like stadium shows just because they're so big and so grand, and it's almost like you're watching a machine because it's so cute and programmed, and like I don't even think I saw the band on the stage. Stuff like that makes me not enjoy it as much. I like smaller arena and theater shows that are a little bit more intimate. I went to the Miss Carter tour and I enjoyed it because, you know, it was still in a big giant arena and standing room only, but like, you know, she was flying over our head and she passed the mic and let somebody in the audience sing, and it's just a little bit more engaging. You know, that show was so huge. It was like, I felt the same way when I watched the Michael Jackson Dangerous and History World tour. Like, the stage was just so big. Everything was just so big, and football stadium-sized stage, and it's just not as, you don't feel, you feel like you're being performed at and not, you know, it being a part of an experience. That's what I felt like. But no, it was a cool show. Really cool that they can sell out that many seats. They were doing it. Somebody asked me, can you talk about, well, they're saying that they thought it was funny when I talked about the bad comedy show I had. They're asking, have I ever had any bad dance shows? Yes, I have. Let me try to tell the story as fast as I can. Long story short, Howard University, when I was still there, has this big giant competition. It's like an Olympics almost between all the dormitories called Res Fest. And one of the biggest competitions that they have is the dance competition. It's like the next biggest event next to the step show. So long story short, Howard University does not play when it comes to doing anything on stage. Howard University will boo you if you don't come with it. And you only have a 2-second grace period before you get booed. Like Howard is to the point where if Jesus were to come back and do the rapture, people will probably boo Jesus at Howard just because he came and people weren't ready and he snatched up all their friends. Like Howard don't play. So we're at this competition. Me and this girl Ariana then choreographed this elaborate routine. It's just really great. Unfortunately, Ange, the radio personality at WKYS at the time, she was at WPGC. She was hosting, and right before we performed, they had switched the sound frequency so she could go live to the radio. So we were the first group to perform after they went live on radio, and for some reason the sound was just all messed up. So while we were performing, we could hear ourselves and we could hear our music, but the crowd really couldn't hear. So the crowd just started booing and boo, ah, boo, blah. And then then you also have the people who did not like some of the music choices we had, and then also because listen, when it comes to dancing, I am not someone who's just going to do something that you can do in the club. And Ariana felt the same way. We really made some real hardcore, serious choreography. And sometimes people can't relate to choreography. They want to see stuff that's going to make them get turned up. And we just were not turned up enough. And we're too technical and too clean and too precise. So, hey, we got booed. And then at the other part, in order to advance to the next round, they'd have you stand under the lights just like in America's Next Best Dance Crew. And if the lights stayed on, you move to the next round. If not, they turn off. They had us stand under the lights. The lights stayed on. We're, yeah, we did, what? And then the lights turned off. And then the entire arena was like, oh! And I had to go to class the next day. Mind you, half the people booing me in my classes. I'm like, we got a group project together. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Don't actually use my Wi-Fi no more. Anyway, so that's that. Somebody asked me, what gives you the courage to be so comfortable in front of audiences? I have a big phobia of speaking in front of people. Either you're comfortable or you're not. And I think it's something you just have to work on. For me, I think the opportunities that I had as a kid, like I grew up in church, so and my mother forced us to participate. So, I was like an usher, and you do the offering and ask people to stand and obey the usher in the rear, and they do that. And I was in a kids choir. And one thing about going to a black church is that the musical portions of the service are very call and response, lots of feedback from the crowd. And you better sing, boy, sing! And one cool thing about like the choirs, if you ever go to a black church, when they break up a song by section, like soprano, alto, tenor, by the time the tenors get to their part, the women always just give such a good response to the tenors because there's something about the men singing from their diaphragms, using that manly voice, and some of the women in there just hot in the pants. But, they get a kick out of that. So when I was in the kids choir, we'd be doing the same thing, and we get to our little song, and, it would break up into the tenor section, and it's funny because when you're 6 or 7, you don't really have a tenor voice because your voice hasn't dropped yet. I still don't think mine has dropped yet, and I'm getting closer to 30. But, I remember we would be up there singing, and, have you heard of a city, streets are paved with gold? And everybody's mom and the parents, yes, sir! And like for you start thinking like, oh, this is off the chain. I can do this all the time. Like, yeah, girl. I'm in the kids choir. It's youth Sunday. So I think that's what that is. So just experience with that, and like even being in Sunday school, you'd have to share with the congregation what you learn in your class and stuff like that. Speaking out just makes you very comfortable. And I think this is why sometimes the kids I work with can't stand me when there's anything related to performing arts, because I'm like, listen, you only get up until age 7 to be cute. After age 7, if you're going to go on stage, I need you to kill it and go home. So even like at my church, when the kids choir goes, I don't go to church that Sunday just because I'm not going to say the kids are bad, because I won't bash your kids' talent. But listen, the way I was brought up, I can't do it. So I just visit another church on 4th Sundays. Anyway, and hey, the kids are good though. They got a go-go band behind it. They can keep it funky. It's just, I'm like, it's too many cute kids up there, and I don't do too much cute. Cute is for talent shows. Anyway, God bless the children. I'm out. And subscribe. I'm going to make some more videos probably this week. I might upload 2 more this week. I'm trying to oversaturate you guys so y'all can stop complaining about me not making any. I'm sorry. I know life is getting in the way. I'm working on it. So subscribe, share, do your thing. I'm out. Share your comments. Share your questions.